Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode. We are in Cooktown, or just outside, 10 minutes outside.
Still sweating.
Woo, she is cooking. She's cooking in Cooktown. The wind's picked up a bit, so hopefully that audio is okay. But today I just wanted to go through our touring rig, or our car, that we have had 5 months on the road with. Five and a bit months on the road with now.
Yeah, which so far, touch wood, has been awesome.
Yeah, so when we started planning this trip, we went through all different combinations and setups that we had. I had a Renault Traffic van, like a tradies van, which I decked out with a bed and seats and everything in the back, kitchen, second battery. We looked at towing a camper van with that because at the time our budget wasn't massive.
Plus we didn't have a second kid at the time.
Yeah, well, he sort of come into the picture as well. That's how long we've been planning it. Will's 3 now. So 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, we were in the southwest of WA, and we met a few travelling families on the road then who were doing the lap, and that kind of, like, that with the trip we were doing at the time, that kind of got us talking about it. Then Will come along, then COVID hit. My wedding business started going crazy from a photography point of view, so our budget grew and grew and grew, to the point where we ended up going with a MR Triton. So it's a 2021 MR Triton, as well as our 18 foot full off-road single axle brilliant caravan. So yeah, let's get into it and show you about the car and the Canopy. What I want to talk to you mostly about today is the Canopy. I love the Canopy more than I love the caravan. The Triton itself is fairly stock as far as what's under the hood. It's an MR Triton. I'm not a car person, to be honest, and if I could afford it, I'd probably have a Toyota as well, like every other person in Australia. But I didn't want to spend that money, otherwise I would have had a ute tray on the back. I couldn't lock camera gear or anything in there for when I'm at home, when I'm working. As well as on the road as well. So we've gone with the Triton, and so far it hasn't let us down a bit. So we'll just run through that part of it quickly, and then I'll go into more detail about the Canopy itself. So we've got the BF Goodrich KO2s. I put them on the first week that I had the car, which I think I've had for since February last year. So about a year and a half, almost a year and a half. They're fantastic. We've done probably, well, since I got the car, about 36,000 kilometers. Haven't had an issue with them at all. Since we've been on this trip, we've done about 20,000 in the 5 and a bit months. Got the TJM bull bar, TJM snorkel. Really clean, as you can see. There's no winch, no additional lighting or anything like that on that. I ummed and ahed about having a a bull bar because back home we just don't see the wildlife that we have seen in other parts of Australia already, and we haven't even been to Northern Territory, outback Queensland or WA yet. So glad we did. I haven't hit anything yet, or maybe a couple of tiny birds, but sorry birdies. But yeah, got this fitted probably in the last month or so before we left on the trip. It cost a pretty penny for this and that, and the install from TJM. I wouldn't say I was overly happy with how they went about it, but I'm not going to count them. I'm here to talk about the car. Moving around, nothing else there. We've got the GVM UHF with the smaller aerial. That's how technical I'll get with it. Amazing piece of not necessarily that one, but if you're going to be doing this sort of thing on the road, get a UHF. Like, it should be one of the first things you buy for your car. The amount of times we use it for trucks getting past us, or road trains, just from a safe point of view, the amount of times we, well, even talking to other people that we've met along the way, or just hearing things, the big loads or the wide loads coming our way, it's just an information piece which keeps things safer on the road. So I'll show that inside in a second. We've got the clear view mirrors. They extend out. They're the basic ones. There's no blinker or extra lighting or anything in them. Bit of a love-hate relationship with these bad boys. They do squeak quite a lot, and it tends to be one or the other, not both at the same time, but they both do it at different times, and it drives me insane, to be honest, when we're driving. Best way to torture me is put a squeak inside the car somewhere, or a rattle, little coin rattling, or shells as Eva and Will have in the back of the car, just going over every bump and they rattle. So got the Rhino Rack tradie platform up the top. I don't know whether this is necessary. I got it more because our canopy sat a fair bit higher with the ladder racks up the top, and I thought I'd be putting more stuff on it, like Eva's surfboard and things like that. It does house the 4 Max tracks which we've got up there, which are locked on. But yeah, we don't have a need for it. We don't have anywhere near the gear that we thought we would have, both in the caravan or in the car. Like, we've got so much other space where we can put things, including big stuff, that isn't needed. Snorkel, I sort of touched on that before. That's a TJM one. We actually needed that the other day. We had water over our bonnet at Elam Beach, which was unexpected, by the way. But that came in handy then. So side steps, nice bit of advertising there. We did on the suspension, we did a Petters GVM upgrade before we left as well, which again cost a pretty penny, but that just gave us a little bit more leeway in terms of what we could GVM on the vehicle, and tow ball as well when the tow ball comes on, because the tow ball is quite heavy, as I sort of said in the other one. Look, there's nothing too different in here. I have got some tire pressure monitoring system on here as well. They're from iCheck. Yeah, and they just sit on the wheels, obviously. Also in there we've got the UHF, obviously. I stored it here. I've just super glued the connection onto here. Nice little dash mount up the top. Got the Safety Dave mirror as well. So on that we've got a connection that goes through to our caravan, but we've also got a connection onto the back of the car, and you can flick a switch as to which one you want to watch on that, which is really handy as well. So it does, when you've got it off, it works as a mirror to check out the kids as well. The other thing, the quad lock. I love my quad lock gear. I've had that for so long. When I was getting into mountain biking, one of those phases that I went through, I will say that my bike broke before the phase sort of ran out, but I use these for everything, on my bikes, on this sort of stuff. I even contemplated putting one on the roof of the caravan inside above my bed, just so I could have a hands-free way of watching my phone or whatever. So anything else in here, it's probably not really worth talking about, I don't think. She's pretty standard. From the back in here, kids have got the navigator seat buddies, or whatever you call them. Still got their chairs in here. Eva has this collapsible stool in there because she doesn't like her feet hanging from the bottom. And we've got a little bin. I know that's not groundbreaking, but having a bin there is that's Trina's idea. It's pretty damn useful. Like we almost fill that bin daily with kids snacks, fruit, peels, banana peels, what I was trying to say. All that sort of thing is really handy. There's not much else going on in there, I don't think, that we have. So that's kind of the car. It's white, it's got some black stuff. That's about as technical as I get with a car. Come around this side because this other side is more interesting to start with. So the canopy, actually 30-second awning up the top here. It is literally a 30-second awning. You can fix it and pull it out and fit it within 30 seconds. I have put a little eye ringlet onto the tradie platform up the top, which ties it off on the other side to keep it nice and tight. I went for the smaller one just because I didn't want a massive overhang because it's only connected to the ladder racks. I think the 2.1 would come out to here somewhere. That's the 1.8 from memory. Yeah, so from a car point of view, the only thing that we've had issues with, we actually have the suspension upgraded, which I think if this comes out before the Gold Coast videos, then you won't know anything about it, but watch the Gold Coast videos and that'll explain some more. So we got that redone on the Gold Coast. And then the little bracket in there for our fuel broke in the first campground basically in Tassie. So I've just been using gaffer tape because I can't actually access it to get at it and replace it with anything. So yeah, so from there we've got the second battery. So this goes into the canopy from the alternator. Again, we've just lost a bit of the stickiness for that. We've got the cord hanging out here because we are bribing the kids at the moment. Just running some power out of our canopy for Starlink to be going because they're in there on their iPad. So just to keep them quiet. But here we've got the pride and joy, my canopy. So this is a 1400 mil canopy sitting on a 1650 mil tray. So everything from there down, is TC boxes. We got that done out of Melbourne basically. So we got under there the ARB twin compressor. Won't use that too long with the car off. At the back here, we've got two jerrys. Again, they're empty at the moment. I don't fill them unless I really need to. And then we've got the under tray toolbox, which I find amazing. This did, when I first got it, this went fully across. I've angle grinded it off there so I can have access, because when it's connected to the caravan, the drawbar only allows me to get it to there, and you've got to have this drawer fully open for that to lift up. So I need to be able to access things like shovel, tyre repair kit, some of the water stuff, whatever we need to do when we've got the caravan hitched on. And then at the back is more your might needs, your tools, snatch straps, a bit of fishing gear in there, some silicone, all the stuff that you can park, unhitch and get to. Then got me tool belt, tool roll kit, all my pegs and that in there. As I said, shovel, just some basic tools, stuff that it's not excessive, but stuff that zip ties, ratchet straps. It's the stuff that you might need, the stuff that you don't necessarily use every day, but stuff that you might need. So then around this side on the storage under here, this is kind of like our wet, sandy, dirty water gear that we use at the beach. Snorkel gear, blow up tubes, all that stuff that we've got it on us basically. If we go out for a day trip or stuff like that, rather than having to pack it every time. So the other thing I'll talk about, which I forgot in the car, we have got a 50-litre bladder that sits behind the car. Not necessarily the nicest tasting water that sits in that, but it's great for when you just need to wash your hands or whatever on the road. I've had showers underneath this as well. Basically got two outlets, one at the top, one at the bottom. I fill it, and so this is the bottom one, that's the tap. I don't know if I've got any left. A little bit, sorry. Got Trina wet. I fill it and release it from the same one, and just have that coming out the top, and that allows me to sort of have the overflow as well as the air releasing as you're filling it up. I love it. I love having that there. It's big amounts of water hidden away, basically. So, all right. So the canopy itself, the canopy is out of Brisbane. The canopy, I can't remember the brand name of it, but the guy that fitted it out, Tim from 4 Point Touring, has done an amazing job. I randomly got onto him on a caravan forum on Facebook, where he was just posting a couple of photos, not advertising or anything like that. Someone had asked to see some photos of a canopy. He posted his from his cruiser, and then I just sort of messaged him, say, hey, where'd you get it done? He's like, hey, actually, that's my business, I do that. So I've almost got exactly the same setup as what he's got in his cruiser. It's 1400 mil long. I don't think he's got the travel buddy. But what do we got? We'll start with the travel buddy. So when I first got this designed, we're like, we'll get that put in, because we had an oven in the caravan, but then Swift ovens had all the issues that they had from the gas leakage point of view. So we then bought an air fryer, because we didn't actually get an oven in the caravan. We just got the grill plate or the hot plate. We didn't think we'd use this with the air fryer, because we have got power to run that as well out of here. But that travel buddy gets used all the time, doesn't it, Trina?
Yeah.
Like all the time. We experimented with some dimmies the other day, isn't it? One on the road. But just travel days on the road, when you don't want to have sandwiches all the time. The kids love a party pie, so do we.
Oh, it's just great not to spend, what, 30, 40 bucks at a bakery all the time. We would use it at least once a week. It's great.
Yeah. On the travel days, you chuck it on, from frozen, hour and a half at about 180, 190. Works pretty well, and the pies are not absolutely scorching, but they're just perfect temperature.
Yeah, and it's cooking while you're driving along, so you basically doing nothing, and then you stop for lunch, and like at a playground or something, let the kids run around, and your lunch is ready. It's awesome.
So in here we've got a 2000 watt inverter. There's 200 amp hour lithium amp hour, all energized system. So I spent big bucks on that. And this will come out before you sort of see some issues that I do have with the Energive system at some point, which was sort of around Townsville area. But yeah, I love this. I love how reliant it has been, how much I can rely on the power and everything from it. Tim will probably, if Tim does watch this, I don't know whether he watches, the guy that built it, he'll see these stickers and be like, oh my God, what have you done to the thing? But this has actually turned into, so a bunch of these stickers I should start with. I said to the kids when we first started the trip, just pick a couple of ones off, like this sort of stuff. Pick a couple online, we'll add some color, some flair to the canopy. In the end, I think it turned into 40 stickers before we even started. And then it's turned into these patches of souvenirs that that we buy at each place, and that's kind of like a nice little memory of where we've been. So adds a bit of color to it, and it's nice for the kids to look back and sort of see where we've been. This latest one, Cape York, it's a bit contentious with Trina, a bit controversial, I think, because even though we are on Cape York and we've gone a little bit up, we're not doing Cape York in its entirety. So a little spoiler alert for the 3 people that do watch this channel. Anyway, it's got the DC to DC charger, as I said, it comes through there from the alternator. Up the top, we've got all the gauges here. So at the moment, we're running 64% on the ePro. We've got the inverter on because we're running Starlink out of there. Trina's pushing it right in and won't focus that closely. We've got our switches, so that's our main switch. That'll turn fridge and everything off in an instant. We've got our light switching. You can just see it coming on at the top there, broad daylight. That does have a red feature as well, which is just done there for the bugs at night. I've got one in the middle of the canopy back there. I don't know whether you'll see that coming on. There's a fair bit in the back there. And then one for the other door as well, which will turn on as well. So they're great, I love them. USBs, got 4 USB outlets here. Got a little torch up the top. Got our little bus here for our fuses. Got the Dometic, I think it's an 85 litre. Mainly a beer fridge, but we do have, what's in there? Nothing at the moment. Need to go do a bit of a shot. Yeah, it probably fits, it would fit 45 cans in there, I reckon. And a little trick, got the kids' guns and that, which we got gifted from a mate in Cairns. So people always whinge about things rolling around, how upright fridges sort of go. Use these things, like these are most craft beers have these now, so we just got a little stash of them that sit underneath the fridge here. They stop all that, they stop the rolling around. Even if I've got one can, I'll just put one of them on it and it stops it bouncing around, because I have had a few spillages in there from the kids' ice creams and all sorts of stuff, and it is a bit tricky to get in, get out of things. So got the fridge organizer on the front. It's the PM canvas, which is the same as our garbage bag on the back of the caravan. I love it. It's just easy. It's like that kitchen at home where you got the triangle, you got the fridge, you got the bench space, and you got the cooktop. Well, I got the barbecue here for the fridge. Usually try and park my car, barbecue there from a cooking point of view. Usually try and park my car, so I've got the fridge and all this stuff. And then I've got the bench space here from a stainless steel pull out that I can chuck hot stuff on. I can not worry about it. I can cook on, I can chop on it. Not that clean at the moment because it is pretty dusty and dirty where we are. But yeah, love that organisation of it all. Now, while we're in this little part of the world, I'll show you how much, and this is one of my favourite things of the Canopy, it's just one of those little quirks, how much I can fit under here. It's just a lot of stuff that, and there's a bunch of other, like my whole arm goes in there basically, that I just have tucked away, that I use. Like that's a fry pan that we use every day. We've got two of these. They sit on the barbecue, they sit on the inverter, the induction, they sit on the gas hot plates inside the caravan, and they've got the removable handle, and they're square, they fit easy, they're small. I love them. That just all tucks away neatly in there. Easiest for me drill for all the stabilizer legs and the ground anchors and everything like that. And kids' guns basically. So up the top, got a couple of thermometers, got my meter for cooking like roasts and stuff. Got the Inkbird instant read, and I've got this for my oils and stuff, the Stanley infrared. Coming across, just a bit of general sort of stuff. That's my e-bike battery that sits there. Got a little bit of a pantry going on in there. Sauces, all the cups and that up there that we might need on the road. That kind of fluctuates with what we carry in there. Snacks, chips, whatever. Just another place we can get rid of them. I've got two of these fridge or knife magnets here, and they don't move at all. So, and then in here, kind of everything else. So I've got the induction cooker, I've got the sandwich press, some first aid kits, snake bite kits, got a electric kettle, and just a bunch of random cooking, cleaning sort of stuff in there, firelighters, just tucked away nicely. Fire extinguisher, a couple little patches. You want a patch? Ash used togger, as Will would call it. Yeah, so that's the passenger side, which is kind of, I don't know, the kitchen, the fun side of it, I guess you'd call it. Love it. Alrighty, now the driver's side. Driver's side's probably more the random stuff, the bigger stuff. So it's just bulk storage space. So we've got the DC to DC charger in there. The battery system and that all lives. There's a compartment up the back here, which I was having to access quite a lot at one point out of Townsville, to be charging it, to be giving readings and everything back to Energive. It's tucked away nicely enough that you don't have to see it now, but you can get to it if you need to. Again, a spoiler, but Energive did end up replacing the whole 200 amp hour battery, which was good of them in the end. Fishing gear, because I'm such a good fisherman. Usually got some beers or cokes or whatever up the top there. I carry the rotisserie for the fire here as well. I've got my tripod up the top for my camera, axe. That's just a little thing that sits on my lens when I'm doing kid photography. just to keep them interested. Over here, just some storage basically. So I've got, we'll go over here. We've got a 12 volt pin, some USB outlets, another 240 volt outlet as well. Stick a few of the cords that I use regularly up the top here, because I tend to charge everything out of here. There's a GoPro battery getting charged out at the moment, and then like I've got drone chargers and everything else in there. Got me 240 volt charger for the battery if and when needed, and then what else? So this is the internal lights basically, so the middle ones, and then these ones as well, which turn to red as well. A few more little patches up there, but two big drawers over here is all my camera equipment. Now I use this back home and I'll use this on the road as well. So I've got 3 different locks on these, so I feel safe. I've also got photography insurance on all my gear, so if I was to lose any of this gear, I could get it replaced basically, as in if I was to, like someone was to flog it. The biggest thing I wouldn't want someone to steal would be my storage devices in the van, because it's not always easy to back it up to the net in a timely fashion, and I do that, but it's not necessarily the quickest turnaround. So if someone was to flog that today, I would probably miss out or lose, well right now, maybe 3-4 weeks of footage, because we don't have that internet or the, what do you call it, cloud storage at the moment. But in here, it's full of camera equipment. I will go through all my gear, I think, in another episode as well. But it's just, again, it's nice to have that access to be able to grab things quickly and not have them packed away in bags. There's 2 bags that live in there. One's my photography bag, one's just a general backpack. They've got nothing in them for most of the time, and we just pack it depending on what we want to do. So I do love that part of the Canopy. I do love having things organized like that as well. So look, I think that's basically it from the car and the Canopy. 4-point touring out of Brisbane. Tim, tell him I sent you. I don't think he'll give you any discount or anything, but he's a good dude. I caught up with him when I was in Brisbane. He just wanted to check over things a year on, well not a year, but what was that, 9 months on. And yeah, I cannot fault this. I absolutely love it. The car stood up well as well. It's surprising how many Tritons you do see on the road. They certainly don't outnumber the Toyotas or anything like that, but it's been reliable. It's been very good for me, for us I should say. Reasonably comfortable drive. I don't have anything to compare it to from a towing point of view, because I've never towed anything in my life before this. But yeah, she stood up good. I got the DR35 hitch, which I didn't talk about before, with the Heyman Reese inverted adjustable tow hitch. I don't like this part of the car. For whatever reason, Tritons have the tow bar go down, so it's low, and then I have to bring it back up. Most others have this coming out here, and then you have it sort of dropping a bit to where it needs to be. It just means this sits really low for my liking, and you hit that on things when you're going past. So anyway, we'll wrap that one up there. Thanks for watching again, guys. Give us a like, comment on anything you want to know more about on this, or what you think I should be doing differently. But yeah, we love our setup. We love our little traveling. Well, it's like an extension of our home. We live in the caravan, obviously, but everything we use in this is basically what we're living our life out of at this point in time for the 12 months. What do you reckon, guys? Say goodbye to this one, hey? Look at you, Peeps!
She's so hot.
I won't show Eva too much because she's got no clothes on there apart from her knickers, because it is so bloody hot.
I'm roasting.
Anyway, I need a drink. I need to cool off with another shower. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. See you in the next one.